Alrighty-o. I'm live. I will wait for confirmation in the chat. Say in the chat, maybe type good if the audio and video is up to snuff. That would be helpful. Good. All right. Good morning. Let me get my windows set up here because this is how the Friday mornings go here. I'm on the East Coast of the U.S., so it's 9 a.m. Still have morning voice. Sound a little quieter than usual. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the levels actually look normal. You know, my OBS levels, like I'm right in yellow when I'm talking. So, yep. Yes. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the morning stream where we get rid of my morning voice by the end of it. I'm showing you my calendar. Ha! I forget that do these get uploaded to YouTube permanently? I don't even know. This is literally the only thing I do with this. I just go here, I hit start stream, and then that's it. I don't do anything more. Your audio is down. Ha! Common problem, Ryan. Common problem. You got to keep that knob up. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Gurchin. Hey, Roberto. Haz, Muzafar. Nice. Mark, Mike, Kevin. Cool. Usama from India. Nice. What time is it in India? Alfredo. Hello. All right. So today we are going to continue on our Xbind journey. So last time we opened a pull request called new Xbind to object, whatever. And I opened up the floor for some conversation from Australia. Nice. It's 6:30 p.m. Okay, not bad. You're from Australia. What time is it in Australia? It's got to be late there, right? What else we got? Okay. Nomen, Salorm, Ghana. Whoa. 11 p.m. there. Yeah, crazy. Interesting. So yeah, I mean 9 a.m. I guess is a decent time to stream. I guess probably 11 when Matt does his stream is probably the best time because you would get all the people on the west coast of the U.S. Although it would be 1 a.m. in Australia, which would be nutso. Mr. Worldwide. That's right. Sup, Danny. Okay. So we're gonna do some Xbind stuff. So I opened up the floor for conversation. I asked people to weigh in on, so this is it. This is the pull request that I opened from last week. And there were two things that I sort of thought might be an issue. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Matt is not streaming today. I saw him tweet something like that. So yeah, we'll go all day. So we built Xbind, but there were a couple things that I was curious about the implications. The first, are there performance implications for running safer eval inside getX attributes? So basically this call that gets called a lot throughout Alpine now has an eval inside of it. Hey, from Dominican Republic. Nice. That's in my time zone, right? Perfect time here, 2:11. Yep. Jason, how's it going? Jose, cool. We got a decent turnout here. No? I guess that's no more than when I first checked this, but still, I'm always surprised that anybody shows up. Hi from Angola. Ah, nice. There's an Angola like 20 minutes from me. Different Angola. Spain? What? That's so cool. Musafar, 30. What does 30 mean? Oh, 30 is the amount of people? Is mine just like lagging behind or something? Because it did say 0 for a long time, and then people started chatting in the chat, and I was like, it's not 0. So maybe this is stale. Nepal. Ooh, Nepal. That is fascinating. There's Laravel developers in Nepal. That's cool. Nepal is one of those mythical places to me. I would love to visit there someday. You know, climb an Alp while I'm at it. UK, pretty boring. Yeah, super boring. Just kidding. That's funny because of all of these, it is the most boring. Yes, same time zone. Yep. Italy, cool. Italy, Michigan. Nothing special in Michigan. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, right. When everybody lists all their things and then you list a U.S. state, especially a non-exotic one and from the Midwest, it just kind of lands flat. Um, Corona stopped my moving plans to Finland. Ah, yeah, that'd have been cool. Currently working on Tall Stack project in Nepal. That's awesome. Thailand. Hey, but I'm in Florida. Okay, what part of Florida? Put on hold. You are amazing, Caleb. I love Livewire. Thanks, Francisco. I'm getting a kitten. What? For the coronavirus. Tall Heart. Yeah, interesting how there were a bunch of names for this stack initially. I threw a couple in the ring. I don't remember if I came up with Tall or someone else. I don't even remember. But there were a couple different options, and it sort of landed on Tall, which is great. Tall's a great name. Just at some point, like enough people just started saying Tall that it became the thing. But thanks for rubbing that in, Cal. Put on hold. Corona stopped my moving plan. Oh, gotcha. Yes, no problem, Haas. Hey, Cal, what type of mechanical keyboard do you use? I use a, what is this? It's a ErgoDox. You're also, you're getting my morning brain. So, as you know, with these streams, things, sometimes I just miss things. I'm using an ErgoDox EZ and slightly modified. I stuffed it with cotton balls and drilled holes in the back to make it less like an acoustic guitar when it comes to clickety clackety. I also added silencers to the keys. So basically I bought this mechanical keyboard. I bought it for the ergonomics of it. So, but it's fun. It's a funnier story if I just say that I bought it for the cool sound. And then I spent the next, year making it as quiet as I possibly can make it. I have like a towel hanging behind the keyboard. I have silencers on each key. I drilled holes in the back, and I have cotton balls stuffed inside so that you don't hear insane clicking on these screencasts. What is this chat becoming? It's becoming a hoot and a half. I wish I could share my video. I tried again to share my webcam, but it's like I remember 2 minutes before the stream, and then I look up like one guide, and then I fail. The chat is insane. It's wild. Switzerland, sweet. Taller from France. Alex, you're from France? That's awesome. I went to France last year for the first time. This is my first time in Europe ever, and Belgium and France. France was great. Grew up in St. Pete, nice, but lived in Naples, cool. Still no cam. Yeah, I got to get that cam going, huh? Because right now I'm just talking and you're just listening to my audio and my mouse is stagnant. Maybe I should move my mouse so that you have something to look at. Did it take long to get used to? Not sure. Oh, the ErgoDox? Hell yeah. Shorter than you think, but it's like there's a steep curve initially, like bad, like you can't basically do anything productive for 2 weeks, but then you become like decent, and then you spend the rest of like a year or two nailing it, like I'm decent now, but every once in a while I have to type like, watch this, I'll do it right now, I'll do it live. I'm going to try to type a carrot in one try. So like, here we go. Nope. Okay, hold on. Carrot. No. There it is. So that's living proof that sometimes like basically anything from that top row I still suck at. I have no idea on what you're doing here, but I just enjoy watching you. That's funny. 43 watching. Oh, okay, that's confusing. All Venezuela. I wonder what mine says. Yeah, mine still says 24. Weird. Venezuelan living in Spain. All right. But you're crazy fast at typing now, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty fast at typing with the ErgoDox, but clearly not caret keys. Any keyboard shortcut troubles with it or tips? Yeah, I actually have this. This is pretty cool. I have one key dedicated to an arrow in PHP. So I just, type one key. Bam. And it's an arrow. I hold a modifier key and then I type that. That one I had to really like crack open the firmware to make that happen. And I love it. Yeah. And I use layers. So when I hold this modifier key, my whole right hand becomes a numpad, so that I never, I don't know why I ever typed numbers on the top row of a keyboard. That just sucks so bad. So now I never have to look at my keyboard for numbers, because I just, it's just like a numpad. And then my left hand, when I hold this modifier key, it's got I have it kind of mapped out so that it's logical for like curly braces, parentheses, and square brackets. So they're all like logically on top of each other, which is really nice. And then I have a money sign in a convenient place. And that's really mostly what I do with the layers. But yeah, you probably heard me say at some point I have the like caps lock is escape. So if I hit caps lock, it's the equivalent of escape, and if I hold caps lock, it's the equivalent of command. So that I can, basically, it's just super ergonomic. So yeah, I love the Ergo docs. I also love keyboard customizations. Sue me. I imagine the Vim stuff is nice though, less hand movement, more actions. Yes. All right. This arrow is dope. Could be done with better touch tool, probably. Yeah, and you could probably do it with Carabiner Elements if you're on the Mac. Okay, should we get to doing some work here? Yeah, so last week we left off on Xbind. Let me catch you all up here. You see the current project I'm in is Disney Trivia Night. Last night's Disney Trivia Night, and every week I do a little bit of work on the app. This week it's going to be a new landing page. Yeah. Okay, why don't I show you that? Because we're just having fun here, right? I could do whatever I want. So this is DisneyTriviaNight.com. Let me go to the local one. So my wife is hugely into Disney World. And for this coronavirus, so we stay in Florida for a couple months in the spring, and there's a trivia night at a local bar. And we would go every Tuesday and had a blast. It was awesome. Like good drinks and good food and Disney trivia. And open up Disney. Yeah, they just announced a date. So anyway, so that ended, and then coronavirus started, and we thought, why don't we recreate Disney Trivia Night, but virtually? And I was like, well, I can create that app in Livewire. So this is a tall stack app. I don't actually think there's any Alpine in it. It's totally Livewire, but this is the idea. Let me get this open here. Let's make this a phone. So this is going to be a phone. Yeah, this is a decent size average phone, I guess. Okay, so this is going to be our phone. And then let's see if I can, I don't know if it'll let me. All right, I'll make it like that. Okay. And then here would be the admin panel. Get ready for how ugly the admin panel is. This is like the most bare bones thing in the world. I have to log in first. Okay. So we're logged in. Come on now. Okay, we're logged in, and let me get to that admin panel. So Aaron, my brother-in-law, and my wife Hannah, so Hannah and her brother Aaron, they run this thing. I just hang out on the webcam and we do it over Zoom. And then they put in all these questions in a Google Sheet, and then I use Sushi to pull all the questions and rounds and nights from that. So I don't do anything. They just update a Google spreadsheet every week, and then the app is just updated. And then they get this panel with these rounds, and then they would so here's the waiting room. They would say set waiting. And now, I got to log in here. Or actually, I'm already logged in, so I should be able to, it'll just refresh me. Okay, so yeah, so starting in 638 minutes. You change your team, and okay, my computer is being insanely slow right now. Like, you have no idea. The fan is raging. So anyway, so you can change your team name and whatnot. Literally, I'm clicking, and it's just taking so freaking long. I'll be done with this demo in a second. I just wanted to show you. So activate, what is the focal point or weenie of Sunset Boulevard? This is ridiculous. My whole internet, computer, everything is like totally frozen. I must have like the world's most inefficient app. Anyway, normally this is just like instant. It's just a click, but it uses Pusher and everything. So like they click this, and then Pusher sends out all these updates to everybody's phones. And again, I don't know why it's so slow. Maybe it's these animations, but yeah, then everybody's phones updates, and then you can choose your answer, and then hit next. And at the end, there's like scores and rounds and final scores, and it's very fun. And it's totally with Livewire and Pusher, and it's super fast, super fun. Anyway, so I've talked about it on platforms, and I figured I would just show you. All right, showing over. Still rocking that dark mode. Streaming quality also starts to drop. Yeah. I don't know what the deal is. Let's make sure Backblaze isn't being bad. Nope, Backblaze is not being bad. Let's see what Activity Monitor has something to say. Zoom. No, Zoom's gone. Yeah, I mean, it's OBS and kernel task, which I found out this is what the Mac does. It just cranks up kernel task when it wants to compensate. Like, it wants to fake high CPU usage to make your fan go really fast. So should update Chrome. Probably. All right, well, I guess I'll close some tabs and cross my fingers and hope for the best. But all right, so let's get back to work like I keep saying that we're going to do. Maybe I'm just procrastinating this morning. Might be Chrome Dev Tool, mobile situation, Firefox. Okay. All right, so like I said, we opened up the pull request. Here is, yeah, this is where I was showing you this. And let me make this the same size here. And I'll close a bunch of these. Okay. All right, spotlight indexing, maybe, I don't know. Is that what kernel task is? I thought kernel task was just a fake CPU usage to make your fan go. My fan is calming down, so something has happened and it's calming down. Okay, so let me show you what we worked on. I'll open this. This is add xbind branch, and I'm sure I'm off of it. So let's get back on to xbind, and okay, git checkout. Not that. Add xbind. Okay. Let's actually get back to master and pull down, because I don't know what I've merged since then. Okay, and we're on xbind, and let's get a build going. npm run watch. All right, we have a build going. Let me clear all these. There are easier ways to do this, but we don't take the easy way out of life. Okay, you should try the great suspender for Chrome. I don't know what that is. So, all right, so add xbind, we have our watch going. Now I'm going to open up index HTML, and here is a demo of what we're going to be doing. Let's see if I have it anywhere in here. Okay. Yep. So we're adding xbind, and the idea with xbind is that normally when you're writing Alpine, you do something like x on click, right? Or x show. You add these directives and then you specify things inside of them. So what xbind does is it is a way to pass in an object of those directives. So trigger is an object and has the click directive, and then dialog has the x show. This needs to be x on click. Okay. And then dialog has x show, so that you can basically have these pieces of data and then you can xbind them into the DOM and get something really interactive and nice. And the whole reason that we're doing this, to be honest, is for Tailwind UI. Adam announced recently, so you all know, that he's going to be building a UI component library thing, like select dropdowns and stuff like that. It's going to be free, it's going to be open source, and it's going to be for Vue.js, React, and Alpine. And he's hiring a bunch of people to do this. So this is absolutely huge, and he needs this feature to do it. So I'm holding him up, actually. I'm sipping tea as well, by the way. I got to wake up here. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. I got to get this thing done so that I'm not holding him up. And we're almost there, and I think we're going to get there. So we'll keep chugging away. That's xbind. What theme is that? It's Pale Night. Color theme, it's Pale Night Operator, or maybe just Pale Night theme. But whatever, if you download the Pale Night extension, there's a bunch of different Pale Nights, but I forget which one mine is. It's just like Pale Night. And it's great. It's my favorite theme. I've tried every other theme, all the popular ones, Nord, Night Owl, everything. And I always go back to Pale Night. To me, it's like the most well-balanced and serene. Okay, so for xbind, here were the things that I had questions about last time. So we finished the basic version of it, and then I asked, are there performance implications for running safer eval? So what I do is anytime there's this getX attribute functions that basically runs on a DOM element where it would like get any X attribute. And now we're actually computing that with the safer eval, which gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit because it's going to add a little bit of extra a performance hit, and I wasn't sure what that would be like. And so it was pointed out that the performance hit is only going to apply for people who use xbind. So at least we're not slowing down Alpine. We are slowing down Alpine if you use xbind, which doesn't exist right now. So that I feel good about, and thank you to Hugo for pointing that out. Okay, so this one I think is pretty much solved. Currently, this only works well with when the bound directives object has non-arrow functions. So we have to figure out if we can get this to work with arrow functions, like you saw here. There, go back to that page. I'm using arrow functions, and I think they work in Chrome, but they don't in JS DOM. We have to investigate arrow functions. The this context, so we can do this dot. Do transitions still work with the get x attributes dot expression stuff? I don't think so, but we're gonna find out. Maybe it does. So let's see. Hey, Caleb. I've had another look. Okay, so this is Hugo weighing in on these things. So this is the stuff that he talked about, and he basically said would only be felt of users of the new X-bind syntax. So it's okay to ship and iterate. Perfect. Well put, Hugo. Thank you. Binding this in arrow functions. So this one was very confusing to me. I still don't understand because it kind of sounded like he said it allows for .call this context for arrow functions, but then his example kind of shows that it would not echo out hello. So let me just do this really quick to kind of show you what he's talking about with these arrow functions. Get rid of that. All right. So let's create. Hopefully the stream's all right for you guys. My computer is pretty slow. I'm going to buy a new computer soon. I'm running a 2015 13-inch MacBook. It doesn't hold up well to things anymore. And the battery is swollen. So if you open it, the keyboard's literally like bowed because it's got a swollen battery. And I have a battery service warning. I'm just living life on the edge. Because it's like had more than 1,000 cycles or 10,000 cycles or whatever it is that basically it's like, yeah, your battery's dead. Okay. So if you have an arrow function, let's say you have a normal function. I'm going to say foo is equal to function. And then let's say console.log. Let's just console.log this. Okay. And now if we call foo, this is going to be the window object because we defined it, at the window level or whatever. But this is going to be, let me think about this. Yes. So this becomes the context of the caller. This is how those types of functions work. This is how normal functions work, where this is not the outside scope. It's of where it's defined. It's the scope of where it's called. And this is why when before arrow functions, we used to do a lot of this. Var self equals this, and then use self inside of your function. So something you could do, you could say foo.call, and then you can pass in a this argument and then more arguments to the function. And now this becomes that string that we passed in. So you can basically ensure what the this context is going to be. Retina MacBook gang, rocking 13-inch 2013. Woo. And if I think of opening Chrome, it starts chugging. Ha! Yeah, that's wild. My wife has a 2013 MacBook Pro 16-inch. Yeah, and hers like basically just randomly dies when the battery's below 50%. We both need new MacBooks. That should happen. Okay, so now check this out. Let's say foo is equal to an arrow function where we console.log. So console.log this, all right? And now we call it, and it's window because it's going to be the definition of the surrounding context that this is going to be the surrounding context where the function was defined, not where it was called. So you can't really see the difference right there. But now if we do this, see that? Check it out. So we did the same thing, but instead of getting hey, we still got window. I guess you can't hijack arrow functions bindings. And first he started out by saying the ECMAScript spec allows for .call for arrow functions, but that, okay, right. But that, so I was like, okay, great. And then he's like, well, I'll show you, and it's not hello. So I was like, oh, wait, what the heck? So maybe he's just saying that it allows for .call, like .call exists, but it doesn't actually do anything. So we might just have to advise people that they can't use arrow functions, which seems whatever. I think that's probably okay. I wonder what that's like in Vue.js. Like in Vue.js, can you use an arrow function in a data object? Does anybody know that? Because in a data object in Vue, I would have like, so let's say this would be export default, like this is inside a single file Vue component, and you have like data, like that. So what if you did this? probably wouldn't work, right? And this would be no different. So what we want to do is force people into this pattern so that they're actual function definitions. But the weird thing is that we're using these kind of crazy strings that can't just be, it can't just be like this. So we need to wrap it in strings, and he's saying that actually the proper syntax for that is this array syntax. So this is what we would be forcing people into, which I am okay with. So I think I just had to talk that through, that this is the pattern that we're going to have to force people into. All right. And yep. So this is what basically we're going to do. Let's load this up in the browser and see if it actually just works. And then we'll pull in his pull request, check out transitions, and we might be done with this thing. Yeah. So everything works. Okay. I have a late 2014 MacBook, but after having desktop PC with WSL, it has huge support for Linux distro and also Docker. I'm not going back to Mac. Whoa, that's crazy. I don't know if I could do that. I know Windows is getting better, but that would be a giant leap for me. I love Mac deeply. Are we going to bind only Alpine directives? If so, why not just pass the keyword and Alpine map by itself? So you're saying, why not just pass what, like this? Like click? Well, the problem is if it's, I'm not sure I know exactly what you're saying, but if we just did click, then what if there was an attribute called click? Ubuntu here, nice Oz. So I always pronounce it Ubuntu. It's probably Ubuntu though. Yeah, so this could conflict with directives. So you need a way to specify that it's, and then what about model, what about model? So we've already thought about this. We talked about this last time, so we're sticking with this right now. Thank you for the suggestion though. So that we're working through our concerns from last time. So the binding this in arrow functions, I'm okay with just foregoing it and just saying don't use arrow functions. And then he's got this third thing, broken things, which is do transitions work? So I don't know if he did transitions. We're gonna try some transitions to see if it works. Why arrow functions doesn't work? Arrow functions don't work because, so I just demonstrated it if you were watching a minute ago, because if this was an arrow function, this context would not be the proper context. So in an arrow function, this becomes the context of the surrounding this when the function was defined. And you can't hijack it with .call with your own this context. And I need the this context to actually be the Alpine component itself, or the component data that I set when I call it. Caleb, the title bar, how do you hide it? The CSS plugin doesn't work. I am working on a whole course. If you're interested in these things, I'm working on a whole thing that's going to be out in the next couple weeks, hopefully, but more likely a month, where I go through everything about VS Code that I know, and I'm pretty excited about it. And there is an entire section on prettiness and IntelliSense and editors and panels and hiding things and whatever. So be on the lookout. All right. So doopity-doo. Yeah, so it looks like he just has one little bug fix for me and an update to the test. And I already looked at his pull request and it actually looks really good. So it's super simple. Can't get enough of the Surge courses. That's great to hear. Yeah, I've been working nonstop on this file upload thing for Livewire, like literally every day for like 2 weeks now. And I love it. But this is also that I can record a file upload series on Surge. That's why I started this whole project. So the next series will hopefully be the file upload stuff. Promise me you're going to make more videos like this. Like what? Like the one I'm doing right now? Hey Cal, any update on file upload? Yeah, I mean, it works. Maybe when we finish this, maybe I'll show you some file upload stuff. Yeah, the latency. All right. So it looks like he's passing in an extra parameter to something in X4 that I clearly forgot. So if I'm guessing, I forgot to pass in component and accept it, and then I call it somewhere else. So there's probably some null error. And then here is the bind spec. He changes from, he changes to like a more standardized syntax. So thank you, Hugo, for this pull request. I think it's fantastic. And then he has the test passing here. So this is getting merged right now. And I love that he pull requested to my branch. So it's going to basically update my pull request, which is fantastic. It's a great way to do that. Hugo is the man. Is there any reason why you're not streaming live where it works? Yeah, you know what? Honestly, right now, there is no real reason, but right now I'm super deep into Livewire and I'm just having fun on it. Like when I'm streaming, I'm not working as deeply, you know? So I don't stream like really deep feature level work. I could stream refactoring and stuff that I'm actually doing right now, but I don't know. Some things I just like to do alone and just get in the zone. And this is one of those sacred things that I am really, really enjoying. And so I'm just doing it alone and listening to music and jamming out like all day. And I love it. No distraction by chat. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, I love this. And I think it's great for stuff like this. It's great for a lot of things. Right now, we're not getting really deep. Some streams we get really deep, which is fun, but it's just different when I have to explain everything I'm doing. It's just a very different way of working. Alpine is a getaway. Yeah. Yes. And also like because I've been so deep on this file upload thing, I've been ignoring everything else. So I haven't really put work into Alpine or Livewire's pull requests. So this is a good opportunity for me to catch up on those things. Okay. So we merged this in and now we might just have a working thing here. So what I'm going to do, let's pull down Hugo's code. We're going to run the bundle. We're going to run Jest. We're going to see if our test passed. Then we're going to test everything we possibly can manually. And if it seems to work, then we will merge it. And then we'll look at the release and see what else needs to be worked on before we tag this release. If Caleb Forzio streams, he checks chat often to be connected to his audience. Yes, sir. Yeah, I like the chat. I love it. We'll let Adam try to break it. Yeah, I'm sure he will. So, all right. So we pulled it down. We ran our bundle. And now, so we have this basic example working. My next question is, what about transitions? So let's say that this dialog xshow, what if we wanted it to be xshow.transition? Okay. And let's say duration dot 1,000 milliseconds. So this will be, let's say 3,000 milliseconds. All right, now this will be the real test. Buckle up. Okay, moment of truth. Which one's which? The top one's the normal one, the bottom one's ours. So top one works, bottom one, fail. Let's open up DevTools and see if we have an error. Blah, just failed. Okay. Well, we broke it. So let's just try xshow.transition. See if that works. Maybe I messed up a modifier or something. No, it does not work. All right, let's try some other stuff. We know that doesn't work. So we're gonna put this on the back burner. Duration does work without MS. Yeah. Yeah, but even when I leave all that stuff out and I just do xshow.transition, it should work, right? And it doesn't. And to be doubly sure, if I add xshow.transition to here, and then I refresh, this top one is going to transition in and out. So that's a fail so far. Okay. Let's see if X4 works properly. So here we're going to do template, X4. Oh, no, we want Xbind. Yep. Xbind to-dos. I don't know. Interesting. And then inside of here, we'll say Xbind to do. How does this work? Things are getting funky, folks. Things are getting funky. Like, how does this work with for loops, you know? So let's create this to-dos is an object where we X4, yep, X4 is the directive. Oh, you think No. Okay. Oh, maybe I did this. This is maybe the problem. I'm an idiot. I bet XShow transition works. Okay. Oh, debugger. What's debugging? What did I do? Did I do something? I have these comments. Are they mad? Anybody see it? What did I do? Oh, I probably did this, whatever. All right. Let's see if transition works. Damn it. What's wrong? Data context. I feel like I messed something up stupid. Unexpected token, open curly brace. Okay, trigger dialog. We're gonna do this. Trigger dialog. This is this, that is that. Let's get rid of this. To do is not defined yet. Okay. What in the world? What's our problem? Syntax error, unexpected token. So something in the... so it is not hitting... It should have been captured as a... Expression should be a function. Maybe it's an object. We're going to set a breakpoint. We're going to refresh the page. Okay, now we're going to hit toggle. And if type of expression. So here's our on click. And let's go. Oh, I'm not returning. I need to return. Bad boy. So let's go to utils, safer eval, no return. So how do we, why was this, does our test work right now? Because we should make sure that we have a test that fails this. So this is just, what is this, bind.spec. Yeah, we have this, did his pull request not like work? What is going on? Oh, right, we're adding to the end of bind here. So if I say just bind t, okay, let's run this test, see how we live. Okay, come on now. Yeah, so it did pass actually. Why did this pass and why does ours fail? So what if we do, let's do this. This worries me as much as I want to just fix it, because I see the problem. I want to make sure that we have tests that fix it, or that express the failure. I mean, this literally is failing. So, so maybe before we do this, maybe let's make sure that this is the right fix first. So if I do this, right? I guess I can return it. Doesn't hurt. Even though the function is called safer eval no return, but it doesn't mean that the function doesn't return. It means that the function it's calling. All right, so we're going to save that, and now we're going to run this. All right, and I'm just going to hit play. Hey, and it works. Okay, so that was the fix, but no bueno. We need to get our tests to fail. So how do we get our tests to fail? Safer eval no return gets run with the click directive. So let's make sure, literally, we'll copy this completely. Go to the bind thing, and we will paste this in completely. And now we literally have the same thing. We call click, we make sure it works. We call click, we make sure. Okay, let's run this again. Can bind an object of directives. Run this test, and let me just, so this is xshow.transition. So I guess it only failed us on xShow.transition, which is interesting. So what if I just have xShow? And now I refresh this. I'd like to see some working on Livewire someday. Yeah, I agree, Tiago. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Okay, so it even fails with just xShow, which is what we want in our test. So I actually probably just broke the test because I added this transition. So let's see. Unexpected token. That's the error that we want. So let's rerun this and make sure we get that error again. Good. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what in the world is going on, but we're getting there. Okay, so this is what we want. We want the failure that we were seeing in the browser, and now we have that. So now we can fix this with our return. What was happening is I was saying, hey, is this a function? That if it's like from xbind, is it a function? Then call it. If not, then do this thing. But instead of returning, I was saying, if it's a function, call it, and then also call it again, which is no good. So let's run this again. Okay, so we have our passing test. So our next step is to try to break it. And so transition works now. I was just being a dum-dum before because xclick was an arrow function, and arrow functions don't work. So xshow.transition.duration.1000. Okay, thanks for the tip, Musafar. Okay. Toggle. And it transitions in for 1,000 and then transitions out. Great, so this is working. The next step here is to do an x4. That's what's up. So let's call this 4. Yeah, call this 4, and then this is gonna be x4. And now we're gonna return this to-dos, okay? And now to-dos is gonna be an array of things. It's gonna be pretty wild. 1, 2, 3. Because we're going to use this in a way that most frameworks don't use it. Most frameworks, I mean, Vue.js uses bindings just for attributes and listeners, not for directives. So we're literally like spoofing a for directive, which could yield some really interesting results. So let's say that we're looping through. How does this even work? Let me think about this. This is going to break. We're going to have to figure out how this works. This may be out of the scope of the feature also, but I don't know. So, xbind 4, and this is going to be, let's just get rid of this. Xbind 4, and it's going to be let's put this inside a UL. So wrap this inside an unordered list, and now inside here is an LI with, for now, let's make xtext to do. And I wonder if really what I need to do for x4 is return a string. Maybe x4 would need to return an object that defines an item name in the array itself. Yeah, it's weird. Like I think like, would it be like this right now? Like maybe this is the thing that does its thing. Yeah, so let's see. All right, we have a failure and we are failing. Expression is equal to function. Unexpected token 4. Xbind 4. And we have 4. Let's say that 4 is, instead of 4, this is going to be Forbes, because I'm wondering if I hit like some sort of reserved thing. X4 to, okay, let's try this again. Expression match. What is expression? Why expression dot, oh yeah. So, all right, we broke 4 because parse for expression. So we could, yeah. Oh, let's see here. Parse for expression. Where do we get expression from? Handle for directive expression. So let's go to component And let's see everywhere that we use expression. Right, so we get the X attributes. And now expression is a function, potentially. Like expression might actually need to be its own object. This is something we talked about earlier, because right now expression is sneaky, because it used to be a string, dependably, and now it's potentially a function. And this is something. I wonder, okay, I don't know what to do. Because a part of me is thinking, like, what if you just, we don't actually need, you could do this, when it's just a string literal, could do that. But then I feel like that's an inconsistent API and is confusing for people. So I'd rather evaluate the function, to be honest. So like on, what do we do with expressions? We have register listener. So let's go to register listener. On.js, register listener, we have expression. And then what do we do with expression? We run listener handler, which has expression. We evaluate the command expression, and then it gets passed through. Yeah, so I think basically it's like if we're ever doing expression dot something. Yeah, so here's stuff. What's this? Transition class is in. So expression dot split. Where do we get expression? Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. So my transition directive that I showed you works, but I bet we broke X transition. Yeah. Could be my internet, the latency. Or it could be that the ocean is extra wavy today. All right. So basically anytime we're doing these kind of string operations, expression.split, stuff like that, expression is a function until it's evaluated. But we almost need it to be, right? Like, can we evaluate it further up the chain? And now we're back to where we were before. Oh boy. Like maybe we have to do double evaluation for transitions and stuff. And maybe we need it to work for the X transition. That's for sure. Whether it has to work for X4, I am not sure. Oh, let's see. So here's it. Here's one bind. But we're not actually worried about the default. If the nested model key is undefined. So this should still work. Oh man, right. Can we X bind? Can we we have lots. Okay, this is unfolding here. So the for expression thing that has, because we have to parse out, we have to evaluate it to parse out the things we need to run it, because it's, yeah. And we could just evaluate it. We could just be like crazy people. And then let's see, text, xtext, expression dot match. If nested model key is undefined, right? Because this is going to use models handle to xtext. So let's try some things. That's why devs hate JS. All right. So let's do some more breakage. Or actually, maybe we'll just fix this for like animals. Like we'll really just do it in a really crude way. So parse x4 expression. We could literally say this. Let's see here. We could say if, let's do this. We're going to say expression. So basically, if expression is a function, did you mention if we should create another expression in previous stream? Maybe we really need two expression. Yeah, something we talked about was having expression be an object so that it's like can be uniformly addressed as a consistent type and not this. Right now, expression is a string or a function, and I don't like that this one thing is two types, because then we have to check everywhere. These are the examples of places we have to check. So if the expression is a function, then we need to do some fancy things. And those fancy things are object way to go. Yep, probably. It's just going to bloat. It's going to add complexity to the code base, which is what we're doing. So that's fine. But let's get this to work so that we can kind of see the things we need, and then we can talk about an object. Okay, so if the type of expression is equal to function, then we want to evaluate that function. So say for eval, and let's see what, or actually we have the component. So let's see, utils.js, say for eval, expression, data context, expression, data context. And do we need a data context here? This is so confusing to me. Let me think. Think. I can't think. Okay. My screen just went dark because I have a hot corner that disables my thing, puts it to sleep. Component, evaluate, return expression. Yeah, I guess let's do that. I was thinking that, because we don't actually need a data context in it, because really we're just redeeming a string, But I guess we want them to be able to construct that string, so we should do that. Thank you for looking that up. Evaluate, return expression, and then what do we pass in? Just expression. L expression extra vars. So L template L, and then expression. Okay. L expression. All right. Save that. Get it to build. Okay. Now, ready, folks? Let's see if we have a working X4. It's possible that we do, or it's possible that we get an error. Cannot read property for each of undefined. So for each is undefined. Iterator names maybe is the wrong thing here. Maybe this isn't getting set to what we want it to. So let's do this. Add a debugger statement. Wait for the build to run, which takes too long because I'm streaming. Okay. Hard refresh. Oh, did I do something wrong? Baha. Thanks, bud. I'm not even going to do this. You're right. Okay. Parse for expression. Yep. Good stuff. It's been 52 minutes. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Hey, X4 works. How about that? All right. X4 works. Let's keep pushing it. I mean, that's what we want for X4 for an API. So let's do 41 watching. Cool. We got to add a test for the for thing. We got to add it as we go. As much as I don't want to. Can bind. So we could just, we'll add a totally separate test for this. Keep tests kind of separate. Xbind object spread syntax. Xbind object spread syntax works with X4. Supports X4. Okay. So what we want is to-dos 1, 2, 3. And now this is output 4, and this is going to be X4 returns a string of to-do in to-dos. And now we have X data And now xbind, let's see. We're pretty much copying what we have here, so let's just grab this here. Grab the UL. Okay. I'm not a JS guy, but it's great to learn more. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to be a JS guy to write JS. I started 2 JavaScript frameworks and did not consider myself a JS guy. Sort of. I've been writing JS for a long time, but I'm not like a JS guy. I'm a PHP guy. Okay. Windows.todos, we have output for expression. Let's do that just because if I don't want to be halfway in between like a long name and a short name. So ES3 or go home. All right, so output expression xtext to do. We have to do in to-dos, xtext to do. Now, after Alpine starts, we should basically see query selector li, get the query selector all, get the first one, and then dot inner text should equal 1, and then basically 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep. All right, save that. And now this is because I didn't write the better Jest VS Code extension yet. Jest bind. Okay. Struggling to get some tabs to work, and here you are writing this like it's your address, like it's your address. Amazing stuff. Nice. Caleb is a PHP full stack monolith dev. Yes, it's true. Who mostly writes JavaScript, except for lately with this file upload stuff, mostly PHP. All right. Did that work? It worked. Cool. PHP on the front end. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So we have X4 working. Let's break things. Let's break more things. As we were perusing it, it looks like we're going to break X transition, and it looks like we're going to break X text. Maybe. So let's do this. Let's say we have X text equals, use this here. Okay, X bind, let's call this bound so I don't have to keep renaming this. Not that it matters at all, but I don't know, whatever. This is going to be a span. Okay. Okay. This is bound. All right. And this is going to be, I don't know, foo is bar. And now X text. Yeah, right. X text return foo. Oh, see, this is what's tough. This is tough. Now we're waiting on you to create JSX in PHP. Yes, actually, that would be great. Someone should do that. They've done that, right? Well, JSX started as a PHP project. I did a PR on XShow transition today. Hey, I saw that. Thanks for that. I'm wondering if that's like transition interruption stuff. I don't know. But see, this is weird. This is weird. Weird. Oh. Let's see if this works. See, because I don't... All right, this says foo because I returned foo. We want it to say bar. Show it. So it should say this dot bar, yeah? Or not this dot bar. Okay. This dot foo is bar, right? Yeah. See, this is weird. It's because this is how I would expect it to work. But when we did that X4, I had to spit out a string, and that's the thing that's throwing me off. You know, because we did like to do in to dos instead of like return this dot to dos. So somebody recommended that maybe for something like X4, you would return an object of like name is to do, group is to dos, you know, or no, like this type of deal. Blah, blah, blah. See, the problem with this is you actually need to do more than this. You need to do name, group, also index would be what? Like this dot would be like I. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, index would be I. And there's also another one. There'd be collection is I's. You know, like that's a lot to remember. And it feels like, wouldn't people rather just be able to return the string directly, like to like this, like to do index collection in to dos, you know, like just have one consistent API. Oh, this is weird. This is weird. Let's keep pushing here. Let's say that you wanted to do foo bar baz. Okay. So this dot foo dot bar, and now we want baz to get spit out, not image optim. And so baz is going to spit out, I believe. I do declare. Okay, baz gets spit out. So why is it that in text.js, so we have expression if nested model key is undefined? Yes. So if we return undefined, we're going to get this issue. If nested model key is undefined, set the default value to empty string. Aha. So check it. Here we go. If we do this, we're going to get an error. Ready for this? Get ready. Now it's going to give us an error. Expression.match is not a function. So let's see. If output is undefined, then we want the output to be an empty string. If it's right, if it's set, what? And then why are we doing the match? Because if output is undefined, and so we're saying if it's a nested model key, then set it to an empty string. I don't know why that has to happen. And I feel like this is an edge case that I'm just going to leave as an edge case out there. You know what? Oh, man. Tough stuff. I feel like if we were wild people... No, that's crazy. Forget I just said that. You don't even know what I said. I'm glad you didn't know what I said. Okay. Ugh. So forget about that. And then let's go back to expression. I'm late here, so what are you working on? We are working on xbind in Alpine. If you're familiar with xbind in Vue, it's something sort of similar. Okay. Okie dokie. If somebody else wants to catch Tonnel up, that's go for it. Or if you need any, yeah, I'm right here. Yeah, okay. Expression dot, and now we have to figure out. So like expression dot call, we know that the transition things, guarantee that's broken. That's the next step here. Bind. What are we doing this? If nested model key is undefined, set the default value. So we're doing this again. Handle attribute bindings if it's a value and the value is undefined. This may be an error at some point, but I'm going to leave it out there. For, so we fixed the parse for thing on. Now that we're sure the element is visible and the click is from the outside, let's run the expression. Okay. Right, that's enough. And then text. Okay, so the only thing left is transitions. That's the only piece of functionality that is left. So let's go to transition spec and let's yank out like the first happy path test. Unfortunately, transition tests are gross, like so gross. Like you're gonna freak how gross they are. Look at this business. Isn't this wild? It's like way too much. Is there a simpler test in here? I hate that VS Code does this. Can't you just get me like the root level stuff or order it by root level so I don't have to see all this like every time I call wait, Why would I don't know. Like basically don't show me callbacks. No, I still would want you to show me callbacks. From the Philippine. Hey. Okay. If only transition leave directives are present. So I wonder if there's like just transition enter. All right, we'll copy this and then we'll look transition in. Yeah, I guess this is just for transition in. Isn't that crazy? Testing this one was wild, totally wild. So this is going to be Where are we? I need to be bind spec. Bind test. So xbind object spread syntax supports x transition. That's our next little feat here. Xbind object spread syntax supports x transition. Okay. Okay. Supports x transition. So let's paste in this whole test here. And yeah, so we're going to do this, and we're going to need all of this jazz, except the difference here, we're going to inject, oh, this is so nasty. I'm so sorry. Let's just do one of them. Should we? Ooh. You know, I mean, like I'm duplicating an entire test and it's a huge, massive test. So I'm adding maintenance burden, but it's maintenance burden on the testing end, which is okay. So it's a different thought process. Or I'm not like, I didn't just copy and paste a massive chunk of like app level code. I copy and paste a massive chunk of text code. So it can make the test harder to maintain, which is still a maintenance cost, but it's not going to harm the application itself. It's going to help it because now I have just more testing, you know. I'm not saying that there's not a place for less testing. Like sometimes there's a such thing as too much testing. But this is a case where I want all of the, like I can't just not have xbind tested for x transition. And this is probably the best place to do it and the best way to do it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to grab this. We're going to, here, we'll delete this. This is what we'll do. Delete this and grab this and put this a little bit closer. See, this is wild because I have to mock out request animation frame and get computed style. Just like wrap your head around that. And then I have to keep a frame stack of like browser frames and push to the frame stack and then run and empty out the frame stack to simulate the transition ticks. It is just too much craziness because JS-DOM isn't an actual browser and it can't do some stuff that browsers can do. So this is going to be window.transitions. Okay. And now xdata is now going to be transitions. Well, what was it before? So show is false. So we're going to want show is false. Okay. And now this is going to be transitions. Okay. And now x on click. So we're going to put this here. Output transition expression. We're going to want output click expression. Output click expression. And that's going to be in here. And this is going to be xbind output click expression. And now this is going to be xbind output transition expression. And then all of this stuff is going to go inside of this. Okay. Why is this yelling? Oh, because I have all this bad code in here. All right. So these are going to be, let's do this a little bit more methodical. So x hyphen, start here, go to the equals sign, add in our function. Okay, and now inside of here, we are going to, I guess we'll figure out what we're gonna do, but let's just return. Go to the end, cap it off, add a comma. Okay. This is good. Multi-cursors for the win. Return, show, return. All of these are inconsistent. Single. Okay. Return show is not equal to show. That's not what we want. We want this. Oh, this dot show is equal to, and we don't want a return statement here because this is a, okay. Nope. This dot show. Okay. So x show again. This is going to be return this dot show. And now the transition thing, this is where we're actually going to return the transition class strings here, the literals. Yes, these are going to be literals. Think, think, think. Think, 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 think. Let's see, let's just take a peek at transition. So let's start in component, transition. Where is it, transition? Interesting. I would think that I would have an X transition, right? Like I must have like X text. Oh, like this would like text, right? So where's the transition? Oh, because it's all going to be handled inside of show into if. Yeah. Right, it all comes down to transition in. So let's go to, yeah, let me think. Yeah, so transition in, we get X attributes, and then we have expression dot. So basically, we have expression dot, 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 expression dot. So these three things here, we need to get expression into a string. That's what needs to happen. So like right up here, you know, we could literally do like, so we do, what do we do? Directives.find enter expression. So we get the enter and start, and then let's just make sure that in transition classes, there's no other call to expression. Yeah. So basically here we need to do the same safer eval that we did inside of for. So right here, we did this thing here. So let's copy and paste that so that we can keep the code a little bit the same. And this is going to be expression. Okay. So expression can be undefined. Expression, basically, let's say the default is going to stick to just what expression is so that I don't have to change any code in here. Otherwise, what we're going to do is evaluate the return expression of L and then directives.find. Oh, wait a second. Directives.find. Maybe later on move that to a utility function. Yeah, we'll probably do even better than that, but at least. Oh, let's think. Think. What is expression? So we're getting this dot expression. Right. So this is where we need to do our thing. So let's check this out. Let's be crazy people. Yeah. Let's do this. I'm going to say, ready? Ensure string expression. Okay, so functional. Whoops. What have I done? What have I continued to do? Ensure string expression. Okay. And now we wrap dot expression in that. Tracking. We also messed up on our parentheses. Okay, so now we can create a little function. So let ensure string expression equal a function that takes in an expression. See, this is not actually this is not great. Whatever, we're just going to do it. Ensure string expression, and this is where we would say return, and then this thing here. We'd say return if the type of expression is equal to a function, then evaluate the expression. Otherwise, just return the expression. Okay? Yes. Tracking. This is one of those like moving conditionals around strategies. Not good, and we're going to refactor it out. Because the reason that it's not good, here's a primary reason that this specifically is not good. Well, one, we're reusing a lot of things here. The only thing that's changing in these three lines is this, so that's kind of a smell. But yeah, the issue here is that we are calling this evaluate return expression 3 times if it's a function. We only need to do that once, right? Am I thinking wrong? Oh, I can't think straight right now. Wait, I am not thinking wrong, right? Directives.find. We get enter, and then the expression of that. My lines are getting so crossed. This has to happen. This has to happen. Okay, so this might not actually be the worst thing in the world. Okay. Now, we may have fixed the code. Let's see if we can get this test to pass, but I'm going to get it to passing in a browser if this doesn't pass on like the first try. Because it's much easier to work through a failure in a browser than it is in a jest test because they're just slower. So here we have our window.transition. We have all these expressions. Yep. And now we express them here. Yep. And then the rest of our test is just normal. So with any luck, fingers crossed, this thing works. So let's try it. This is the kind of thing like, it's possible that this actually works on the first run. I'm going to give it a 70% chance. Like a part of me is hopeful, but almost nothing ever works the first time. So why would something this complex be any different? And it failed. Tannel, whatever. That was me. Yours truly. You know I wrote Alpine, right? I'm just joking. A lot of people contribute, but yeah, I wrote that. Xbind object spread syntax supports X-transition. Xbind object spread syntax supports X-transition. Reference error. Output click expression is not defined. Output click expression is not defined. Okay, that's a good error. That's an easy error. Output click expression is not defined. You're wrong. Transitions. Output click expression. It's the same thing. It is defined. I'm telling you. Window.transitions. Oh. Okay. Now we rerun. Right? Yes. Now we rerun. Come on now. Fail. What is our failure? Component is not defined. Oh, we don't have access to evaluate return expression inside of transition in. So transition class is in, and we don't have access to component dot. So where do we call transition classes in? We call it from here. We call it from transition in, which has component. So let's just continue the train. The train of the never-ending L component, never-ending passing in of component object. Transition classes. Transition classes out is L component. Okay. And then we call it, it's only called in one place. We say L component. Okay. And we have component here. And now transition class is in L component and transition in component. Transition classes. Okay. Retry. Passed. All right. Transitions reportedly work. We have our test passing. We'll do a whole jest run just for fun in the background. And now let's see if we can get this thing. Example. All right. So here's where we need to test out transitions. I mean, the test works. I feel like it works. I feel like I'm just confident that it works. Because testing is kind of annoying. I have to like pull in Tailwind. You know? Let's see if I have an example that tags. Oh, this is good. This is good. So this has Tailwind. It's super Tailwindy, and I bet it uses X transition. Oh, it doesn't. Come on. Ah, boy. Boy. All right, well, maybe instead of doing that, yeah. What's the error? Expression.match is not a function, right? Because we broke it with undefined. Okay, so we're doing pretty good. We're an hour and a half in, and the feature is quote unquote complete. I don't think we're out of the woods completely, but the feature is there. So let's push up the feature completeness of it. Add everything but index.html. And this is going to be, yeah. So, all right. So fix X transition and X for when used with X bind. Okay. And now we'll push that up. And we'll go back to our pull request. And we got to thank Hugo. Okay. All right. So this should show up any second now. Right? Where are you, Christmas? Okay. All right. So we push that up. And that's good. Now we have to think about refactors. So this is what I do. Once I get it kind of feature complete, can we still get a sneak peek at file uploads? Yes, sir. Alpine. Yes, I will give you a sneak peek. Hey, can somebody put in the chat if these are recorded? Like, do they show up on my... This is hilarious that I have to ask this, but do they show up on my YouTube channel? Like, is this something... This would be really good to know, because I like not having them recorded, because I like not where there is... Okay. There is VODs. What is that? They will, yes. Okay. Good to know. Because I flash things like my calendar today and stuff like that. And if it's recorded, somebody can just pause that. Yes, they all show after you end it. I should just not do that. I like live being live. I should do that. Is anybody like adamantly against me doing that? I like the idea of like you got to show up to hang out, and if it's live, I'm not as worried about like saying bad things and showing things, you know. But if it's recorded, then I don't know. I just always feel weird about. Muzaffar is adamantly against it. Yeah, it's almost exclusive content. Yeah. I'm probably gonna disable that. So you got to show up to class. That's right. Yep. I back a lot of times when I do PRs. Oh, you refer back maybe? Interesting. Okay, so here's the thing. Index, we got to get rid of this. I always accidentally commit this stuff. We'll get rid of that. This is something that I've talked about 100,000 times, and I will continue to talk about the importance of pull requesting everything you do so that you can review your own code. This is huge. Like, and when I worked on teams of developers, pull request, somebody else is reviewing your code, but I would always review my code first, because if you don't, they're going to inevitably catch things that you would have caught yourself. So like doing your own code review is ridiculously helpful, powerful, important, whatever. So what is this? Why are we passing undefined here? That looks yucky. Get X attributes undefined. This. Initialize element, because there's no this context or something. What else is get X attributes? We're get X attributing undefined all over the place. That doesn't look good. Utils. See, good thing I spread this out over 2 weeks, because I don't remember stuff. It should be L component type, because everywhere we're going to do get X attributes, we're going to need component, right? Yeah. So let's see, get X attrs and Yeah, I mean, we're always passing it in, but type is optional. So it should be, this is our first refactoring, okay? L component type. And now everywhere that we have get x atchers, we are going to change that. So get x atchers function call. Okay, good to know. Ryan, 100% agrees. Self-reflection is probably more important. If you can't explain something yourself, chances are somebody else won't understand it. Very true. So this, now we can do this. This is what we're after. Get rid of those undefines by putting the optional parameter at the end of the argument list. Much better. Enter start, enter end, worth refactor. Not sure what you mean. Oh, right, yes. We will get there probably. Yep. In the code review here. So L and this, get rid of that. Get X attributes. So where else? We're gonna do L component transition L component show. Okay. And then where else? I probably have this other places. L, wait a second. I just did that. L component transition, L component show, L transition component, L, okay. What is wrong with me? L component transition. Okay. L component show. There's that. All right. And now L component show. Great. So this is all good. And then this is L component bind. Okay. And then this is L, oops, component if. Okay. Save those. Get rid of this. Back in the terminal, jest bind. We'll just run all of jest bind. And this is going to be reorder get x atchers function parameters. Reorder for optional type. Optional type. Okay. So I believe we passed. Yes, we passed. The refactor worked. This is another great example of, this is the process of, honing, cleaning up your code, honing things. This is a common process I follow for everything because I have tests written. I can find something that I find unideal. I can just go ahead and fix it. And now I have tests that tell me if it actually worked or not. And then I rinse and repeat. So now we're here. Where are we? So this get X attributes, and we should get a little notification or refresh from GitHub. You did a good job fixing issues today, cleaning up the code later. Oh, you're telling me to clean up the code later. So that I have to do it so that I can switch to like more fun things. Is that what you're saying? So the thing is, this is all part of it. I don't want to do the hard stuff later. So you can relax. Got it. No, I like just getting it done. So, all right. So examples index, we're going to have to clean this up completely. All part of the grind. That's right. So this is a good one. So examples index, I want to just revert this to where it was before completely. I mean, I could manually do it, but we should do a git way to do it. So what if we do this? Let's go. Well, all right, let's do it right now. So what I like to do is have, I like to have features inside of this thing here, inside of this giant table of Alpine features, so that I can manually test some things myself as well. So let's do this. Let's get rid of this and let's create a new, I'm going to copy all of this, cut it. So cut this. And now somewhere deep down, maybe I'll do it at the last one here. So let's put it before cloak. And this is going to be called xbind spread. And then inside of here, I'm going to say I should reduce line height a bit. No problem. Is that more helpful for you? I like a big line height, but I have this. Adam is about to go live. Oh, so Lorm, what is Adam going live on? Because we can. Is he competing with my live stream? All right. I should be hey, right? I should be hey. And then this will go in there. And now that should do it. So now if we refresh Alpine examples. Oh, I left something in there. And then I should be hey. Excuse me, is hey. So let's, what did I do? Simple X if. I ruined something. Ooh, X if. Shh. What have I done? I clearly did bad things. I don't know when I did that, but it's easy to fix. X data show. Okay. End of the line. And Frake went live with his stream like 30 minutes ago. You're all doing live streams at the same time. Yeah, because like Friday morning is the best time to do a live stream. That's funny. Well, I was here first. Interesting. My thing still says 24, and that can't be right. I don't know what the count is. But anyway, what is Adam streaming on? And what is Frake streaming on? I'm curious. Throw in there if you know. I'm cloaked. I should be hey. Okay. So clean up example.html. Only the real ones stay here. 32 watching. Adam build a custom select menu. So we're working on this feature for Adam's custom select menu. That's so funny. Adam is doing his React component stuff. Frake is doing multi-tenancy. Funny. That's really funny. All right. Well, we're going to keep chugging along. Frake started almost an hour ago. Got it. And Adam's starting his... Is Adam starting his at 11? Or like now? Okay. So we are getting there. We are getting there, folks. 10 to 2, I think. Gotcha. Okay. So this is good now that we have that example. And now in component.js, we're passing in the right things. So that's easy. Component.js received almost no updates, so that's good. And then the for directive, we have save for eval because we need to eval for, which is not ideal, but is whatever. And transition it in if it's not the first page load. Transition in component. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I might be fine with the state of this. Show pass in component. You know, this stuff, it is what it is. This isn't bad. We just have to do some type checking. Yeah, maybe we'll refactor on the next version of Alpine, but I don't know. Put in the chat if you think that if we need to refactor to an object so that expression is, because then we have to change how we address it all over the place, which is fine. But I'm curious if you think, yeah, expression function check refactor to utility. I'm not going to refactor the check to utility because I'm fine with the type of. Doesn't seem like too much of a smell. Yeah, I think I'm okay with it. This is all good. Parse HTML attribute? What the heck? What's that? Parse HTML attribute. Oh, I must have just extracted this from this. Yep. Okay. All right. And then we have tests for it. Folks, xbind is complete for now. So let's do it. Let's edit this so it's not whip. Add xbind, save it, and now merge it. Okay. It's now merged, it's in master. Extracted, no need for now. Extracted because it's needed twice. I think it's good for now. Okay, good. Good to hear. Thanks everybody. And I think that's it for the Alpine part. I'll flash some Livewire stuff, the Livewire file upload stuff to you guys if you're interested. So let's see. So here's Surge. I'm kind of in the middle of file upload stuff, so it's possible that doesn't even work. But okay, so we're on Surge. Here's choose file. Okay, let me show you the code here for, so Surge. Okay. So profile blade.php, and here's what we have right now. Are you using Project Manager? No, I've tried that, and I don't like it. It's a hot off the press VS Code extension called, hold on, Project Switcher. It's like something I made. I never even published it or anything, but it's my own little experiment that it's super fast, and it just looks in the directory above your current project and lists all those directories and switches back and forth. And something I couldn't achieve with Project Switcher is always opening in a new window, you know, because it'll open in the same window, which is bonkers. Like I don't ever want to do that. I only want to open in new windows, you know? So, and it's super fast. It's way faster than Project Manager thing, because it has to look like, if you want it to be smart, the Project Switcher thing, you have to make it use like Git to do that Git detection. I literally like crashed my computer doing that whole Git like check on my giant sites file, but whatever. This is just like really easy, and yeah, I'll probably put it out there at some point. So, okay. Input, type, file, wire, model, photo. Input, type, file, wire, model, photo. This is the syntax. If you're familiar with Livewire, we're now in Livewire land. This is the syntax for uploading a file in Livewire, wire, model, photo. I have some Alpine here because I'm emitting events that you can hook into for like file progress and uploading states and stuff if you want to use Alpine for extra stuff. But you don't have to at all. You can just use input, type, file, whatever. And then in the back end, or in the class, you know, literally you just, if you wire model to photo, just have a public photo property, and now you can do whatever you want. You can hook into the updated state and do file validation. So let's do that. Let's say updated photo. Okay. Actually, we'll just do this, and then we'll this arrow validate, and this is going to be photo. We want it to be an image, and we want it to be a maximum of 50 kilobytes. So we're going to upload something bigger than 50 kilobytes, and it's going to throw a validation error. So let's do that. Okay, and now I'm going to choose file and choose something bigger than 50 kilobytes, this random artwork. Typo updated. Thank you. Okay, and I don't have to refresh anything, because this is Livewire we're talking about. I think you need an Xcloak on that progress bar. I think I need an Xcloak on a lot of things. You're right. So, all right. So it uploaded and nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? Why did nothing happen? Did I validate properly? Maximum of 50 kilobytes. Well, it is a work in progress. What did I do wrong? Let's try another upload. Artwork.png. Okay, artwork.png. We do the upload. And this comes back with all our goods. Set to photo. Photo max 50 might not be a valid validation. No, it is, right? Validate. Well, help me out here. Am I doing something wrong? Photo. I mean, it's set to photo. That's photo. Size? You had an error bag on it. Size 50. Maybe my I'm doing some extra fancy stuff with S3, so let's just make it null. Maybe we found a No, max is also file size. You wouldn't want to do size because size is like restricted to an explicit size. So let's try this. See if this does it. Okay. What in the world? You're wrong. Well, okay, forget about that. Actually, I'm going to comment this out because I need to work on that, I guess. And who knows what I'm in the middle of? Maybe I'm in the middle of whatever. Okay, so let's do on save. Dude, I swear. Let's see if we try to save this. What? What is happening? Property upload does not exist on profile component. What? Oh, because this upload store, whatever. All right, so if we basically, here's the deal. I'll just show you. So you set a public property, you wire model a file to it, no problem at all. And then you can do this arrow photo, arrow store. You can validate it. And then you can do this arrow photo, arrow store. And then you can pass in, you know, you want to store it inside avatars with the name of foo.png with the disk of S3, just like you normally would. Or this would be store as, I guess. You could use store or store as, just like a normal request, exactly. It feels, it's not an uploaded file instance. It is, but it's a temporary file uploaded file instance that I totally hacked. Uploaded file. I hacked it in a deep way, very hacked. Taylor Otwell approved, but hacked. And so this will actually allow you to do ridiculous things where if you set S3, so this is stuff like if you have S3 as your configured temporary file upload disk for Livewire, then when you actually do the upload, it's going to upload directly to S3. It'll do the work of getting a pre-signed S3 URL like Vapor does. So if I upload this, notice that like first it gets a request to get the signed URL and then it actually uploads to the URL, and look at this URL. It's Amazon AWS S3. So it totally doesn't even touch your server at all. And now it's not like you're passing the file back and forth on each request. Like as you type, these requests are really fast because I just deserialize it to like the path, like Livewire file, or dehydrate it to it. And then on the way back, rehydrate it into that temporary file. And the nice thing is that I'm not fetching it from S3 every time because I hacked file upload. I have a pretend file upload that's totally pretend temp file, and I hijack it so that it's lazy basically, where all of these normal methods that would exist on SPL file info, like get size, get MIME type, get file name, they're all going to actually use the storage, Laravel's storage, driver, S3, whatever your driver is set to, in this case S3, to call those things. So it's only going to hit the server when you actually want to hit the server to get the contents of a file or get the size or get the MIME type. So super nice. I am pumped about it. And it handles S3 really well. So you can upload directly to S3, which is super nice. It also handles multiple file uploads. So if you do photos and then inside of very nice, looking forward to using it. Yeah, so if you do photos and then you do multiple, yeah, so it'll handle multiple. So then that'll be an array of files. That was a difficult thing to get going, but that's done now. Yeah, you can do real-time validation with the updated hook, just like anything else. You can do normal validation. You can store the file. You do everything you want to do. So yeah, it just makes file uploads like stupid simple. I'm also working on some other, wire loading now works with it too. So wire loading there, because there's actually 3 requests per file upload, because I have to hit the component to get the signed URL and then do the file upload, like a side load, and then upload again to say that the file upload is finished and set the data. But if you do wire loading attached to the target of wire model photo, then this will show up for the entire duration of the upload. So wire loading is hacked to be, to basically work the way you would think it should work. So all the complexity is hidden completely from the user. And then yeah, with Alpine, you can hook into the file upload progress. You can easily have progress loaders or just normal Livewire spinners. What What else? You can do that. Multiple file uploads, S3. I'm trying to think. What's another? Oh, something that I'm working on right now would be the ability to echo out photo. So you could do something like if photo, which would mean that it's uploaded. So if photo, what am I doing? Okay, if photo, then inside here have like an image tag where the source is photo preview URL or something. I haven't quite figured it out, but basically somehow allowing you to generate a preview URL from a photo that hasn't truly been stored yet. So like if you're using S3, this would generate like a pre-signed get URL, or I'd have to think about the details. And if it's a local, like maybe you're storing it this stores in a temporary directory in your storage, which isn't exposed to the public. So this basically would do the work of exposing the image as a public endpoint for a preview file, and it would be opt-in. It would only work, if you use this, because it would be a signed URL, of course. So anyway, it was a tough one. Frickin' Liveware, Photoshop Liveware edition. Yeah. So this was a solid feature, and it works with testing as well. So here's the file upload. This is actually the tests for the feature itself in Livewire, but you kind of get the idea. Can set a file as a property and store it. So this is just like normal file uploads in Laravel. Storage, fake, avatars. It's just like fake a thing. Fake an uploaded file to get the file. So this is all normal Laravel file testing stuff. And then Livewire test, you set the property as a file, and then you call upload, or call whatever, you do whatever you want. And so testing just works. Yep. And it supports a bunch of stuff. It was a bear. It is a bear. Continues to be a bear. So, but it's going to be done, and it's going to be beautiful, and we're going to be really excited. And a lot of it is isolated to the with file uploads trait. That's how you opt into it. You add with file uploads to your component. I'm telling you guys everything. So yeah, most of the, not all the code, but most of the starting points of the code exist in here. Like generate the signed route, detect if it's using S3, get the pre-signed S3 URL. If not, get a normal pre-signed URL, finish the upload. Yeah, clean up old uploads in the temporary directory. This is the part that should call the updated hook, but maybe sync input doesn't call the updated hook. I got to look into that. I think it does though. Weird. Whatever. And then upload, maybe I messed something up. Upload errored. Oh, it handles errors really well. Oh, yeah, errors. It handles so well. Like because the temporary, whatever, we don't have to get into it. Yeah, and hydrate, dehydrate. I added some new features to Livewire to make things like this really easy, so people can like contribute third-party, basically plugins with just as traits on the component. And yeah. All right, so there's file uploads. Yeah, and people are going to be able to do whatever they want with them. It should be really flexible. Yeah, so that's that. I think that's it for the stream today. It's about 2 hours. Thank you all for joining in. Yeah, thanks for following along on the things I do and the things I build. Yeah, I got nothing else for you. So everybody go watch Adam or Frake's stream. Thanks for joining in the stream. Yeah, peace out, everybody. Let me throw a bye message here so we can all say goodbye. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Yeah. Okay. Peace out.